Maybe.
Well, it says log.
It says preparing. Don't jinx anything yet. Oh, still going. Just thinking about it.
So how many of these have you been asked to do, Keith?
This this is my 5th Zoom session. And all this week I've done 5 of these. So I like Zoom.
Yeah, we like.
Zoom is good fun. We've been doing music quizzes. We've been doing all sorts of strange things, but the podcasts and getting to talk to you guys are the best. So
nice.
Thank you.
Quite smooth that Billy.
Yeah, I brought it back there.
That was good. I'm impressed. That was semi-professional.
I know. I've been watching lots and trying to learn some bits and pieces.
No, just
so
keep.
How are you coping not being on the mats, Keith? Tough times at the moment.
I'm going crazy, man. Jiu-jitsu is my profession. It's my chosen profession. It's what I do. I mean, people get up and go to their work, and jiu-jitsu is mine. And to not be able to like go there is it's terrible. I mean, I don't mind taking time off. I'm pretty good at taking time off, to be honest. I can sit around pretty good, but I like to work and I like to do jiu-jitsu. That's what I like to do better. If I had a choice between sitting around and like going to class, I'd go to class. Might as well. I don't want to sit around. There's plenty of time for sitting around when you're dead, or laying around, I guess.
What's going to be the first submission you go for when you get back on the mats?
The crush, because I've gained so much weight. I've gained like 5 pounds, dude. So I'm crushing them. I'm crushing everybody. I'm just gonna put the weight on them.
I think we're all going to come out, even the really light guys are going to come out like 20 pounds heavier.
I know, right? Oh my God.
We're all just
living on
around like whales.
If you could see my brain though, it's been working out. I've been working my brain out. So it's like, it's cut and ripped, but my body, I've gained 5 pounds. That's embarrassing.
Luckily I haven't got scales, so I'm just plowing ahead. And we'll see what happens.
That's awesome.
The worst part is that you don't put your clothes on anymore. So you just stay in your pants and, everything expands and nobody notices. I'm going to have to go buy a whole new emergency wardrobe when I go back to work.
Absolutely.
There's this fits in well, Billy, with that story about when Master Sauer put your blue belt on you. And Billy steps up to get his blue belt from Master Sauer. Awesome moment. He ties it up and he looks at it and he goes, "You're either going to have to lose some weight or get a bigger belt."
That sounds like the professor.
It was the spare blue belt, wasn't it? It was the spare blue belt. But the same thing happened to my little boy just recently when you promoted him to grey and white belt. And the only belt that was available was a small one, and it tied around his waist just like my blue belt did on that same day. So it was like, yes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. Oh dear, good times. So how long have you been locked down and not allowed to train?
Like 4 months now. No, I'm just kidding. It's like 2 weeks, but it feels like 4 months, man. It's been like honestly, yeah, I think 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, it goes on, like it goes a little bit at a time, right? So you forget what time it is, right? It could go another 4 months and then we get to it and then it'll just be, oh, we got to go a little longer and a little longer. And so, I mean, I wish there was some kind of date or something like that said, hey, we're going to be done, but I'm not hearing that. So, but it's been about two weeks and, I'm pretty tired of being at home. But I've never worked. I want to tell you, I've never worked so hard for so little in all of my life. I mean, I'm working my butt off here for the future. There's no money to be made. It's the future that I'm working on right now. So, been getting a lot done, been doing a lot of videos, things like that. So, just helping my Team Rhino guys out.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that what you're doing to keep your guys engaged? Is loads of videos and stuff like that? And
yeah, I'm trying my best. I've been doing, I did a couple mini seminars, I call them, just like on side control bottom. And then I did one on side control top for my guys. And there's no submissions in it. It's just, what do you do from here? You go to this, to this, to this, to this. They do this, and I go to this, and trying to like lay out a blueprint for what we want to accomplish from side control bottom and side control top. So I hope they're getting something out of it, because I put in a lot of work on it. But the cool thing is, I'm going to keep that for the future. So when new students come to my school, I'm going to send that to them so they can already have a jump up on what they need to do. The whole goal is to get people ready to grapple, I feel, as far as my school goes, right? So I'm just trying to get you to grapple, be able to get you to grapple right off the bat. You don't have to grapple when you come to my school, by the way. So if you came to my school and wanted to, and just wanted to learn, but didn't want to grapple, I'm totally cool with that. I love it. Please do. I want everybody to be like that. And then work your way into it. You know, it's kind of like swimming. You kind of get your feet in the water a little bit, and get a little bit more and a little bit more, right? Most instructors just throw people in the water, and that scares people today, you know? So once you're in the water swimming, I want to give you some videos. I know that's weird, but I want to give you some videos that will help you to be able to swim better. And you could watch them while you're in the water. So it is a benefit to be able to do that. And that's what I've been doing. And so I'm catching up on a lot of things that I woulda, coulda, shoulda done in the past that I haven't been doing. So I'm just trying to make the best of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, fellas, we call it in America a garage, where the car goes, right? And it is freaking clean right now. I cleaned it. I'm good. I got it cleaned. That's been on my mind for about, I don't know, 6 months. So I cleaned it.
And have you put mats down in the garage?
No, I haven't. I should, but I got a lot of places. You know, I got my man cave here, and I should put some mats in my man cave. It's probably going to come to that eventually. I think I have some at my school too. So, but yeah, I just moved the coffee table out of the way.
And who are you locked down with? Is it just Charlene and?
Yeah, it's just my wife.
You or?
Yeah, and she'll kick my ass if I start fighting with her. So I just, sometimes I need to keep my social distance with her. So she's like, "Hey, I don't want to fight." Okay, I got you. I appreciate that.
Manage the distance, manage the damage.
Manage the distance, right? Gracie Jiu Jitsu.
Excellent.
Oh man, yeah, we've been. I think I keep looking at the list of jobs, thinking, how was I ever going to get any of this stuff done if they hadn't locked me in my house for 3 weeks?
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I was really, I hate to be this way. I'm a guy that, when the chips are down, man, you need to rock. You need to get going, right? There is no excuse for failure. You are in complete effing control of your life. And all you have to do is just take massive actions to accomplish stuff. Unless there's a pandemic where they shut everything down and it's not your fault and you can't go anywhere and they make you stay at home. And like, that's had me screwed up because it's not in prison. All right. It's not prison. And my prison's pretty good. I don't mind my prison right now, but it's like, wow, I have no control over me doing what I want to do in life, And so it's hard to say, hey, you need to rock, you need to do that. And I can't grapple. So I'm telling you, I'm just being honest with you. I was a little down in the dumps. I haven't been down in the dumps for years, but it's like, wow. I mean, this could hurt my business. You guys know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It could hurt my business, put us out of business. I don't know, right? Who's going to leave? And by the grace of God, my students have been so cool to me and I love them and I will repay them because they are doing me a favor. I am not doing them a favor. They are doing me a favor. And I completely appreciate that. But as like things were starting out, I was just feeling just totally, I was down in the dumps, just to be honest. I wasn't feeling very good. And slowly, and I've never been that way because it's usually I'm the guy going, hey, you can do this. We got this, right? Because you're in control. But now that I'm not in control, and I don't know about you guys, but you're not in control, it kind of makes you wonder what the heck you're going to do. So I can only do what I'm going to do. I'm only going to do what I can do. And evidently cleaning the garage was what I was going to do because my wife told me to, right? So, I got a lot of these things done. And it's been good. And my life's a lot cleaner. I mean, seriously, when you clean your garage, you clean your house, get everything good, right? We were cleaning out our pantry and cleaning out our refrigerator and cleaning out, we were getting to work and now we feel really good. And now, I'm moving on to doing more videos, and I think my life's doing pretty good now. We can all get through this if things will be timely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of, I think that's where, and obviously with Bill as well, like it's been lucky in that having these two guys that when I felt a bit down, they were kind of okay and bubbling along, and they're like, no, keep your chin up, it's all right, we'll do this, and then kind of vice versa. So yeah, we're lucky in that.
Take it in turns.
Yeah, we can take it in turns to be miserable.
God knows what happens on the day when we all hit a low.
Yeah.
Yes. How's your school doing, by the way?
We've got
Before
the
then,
yeah, this is us. No, we're good.
we are the school.
Yeah, we are the school now. We're the same as you. We've just been so lucky. Majority of people have stayed on, supported the club, and we've been like you've been trying to do as many things as we can. So obviously things like this, and then we've been doing the kids classes via Zoom. So we had like 16 kids tune in last week and grapple with their parents. Yeah, and the parents are loving it.
Oh, good.
It's a great opportunity for the parents to strangle their children legitimately for
Yes.
on an occasion. Great.
So yeah, from that point of view, it's been great, and everyone's got involved. And like Rob was saying earlier, we've done loads of stuff like quiz nights and just via Zoom. And I just keep thinking, thank God in a way it's now, not 10 years ago when we didn't have any of this stuff and we couldn't get anything out there, and that would have been it, kind of thing. We couldn't even justify.
Posting the VA around.
Mm-hmm.
So very lucky, and hopefully, like you say, it will be timely, and we'll get back on the mats as soon as possible, and we can repay everyone that stayed on, in kind with different bits and pieces. So yeah. But never mind. We'll get there.
Well, I hope we all get there. And I think if this is over soon, I think we'll all get back to normal. But you got to have a plan for everything, man. And that was that was why I was feeling down, is because what if it does last for a long time? God forbid. What's the plan, and I think you got to, at least in my mind, at least what I'm doing is I'm planning for 6 months out, and I don't think that's going to be anywhere close. And I'm not trying to be that guy that's Mr. Doom and Gloom. I actually think it's going to be quite soon, but I mean, if it goes 6 months, I mean, I got to come up with the ways that we can keep this going. And man, again, I'm just so thankful for my students. They've been so cool to me, and I am not going to forget it. And I tell you, when I was going to school, to my school, every time I would go, I would do my absolute best out of every class I could possibly do. And I was going, I'm bringing it today. Every single day was going to be the best day I could possibly do it. And I'm glad, because I think that paid off too, because people appreciated how hard I worked. And my school was at I had the most students I've ever had in my entire life at my school. My school was on fire. People were calling all the time. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited because, I mean, here in the United States, we had a recession for a good long time, 2008 until about, I don't know, 2 years ago, it seemed like, where the economy just was never picking up. And I don't know what it was like for you guys, but it was a time of, wow, you better get your business straight. You better get it right and be good and do your very best. And so, God, it was just coming around too, man. Things were on fire, and now it has come to a screeching halt. And hopefully I'm going to build it back up. I mean, I have nothing else to do in life, guys. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. I can't deliver stuff. I don't know.
I think it's a scary thought that it could be like weeks and weeks out, but I think the longer it goes, I think the more people will value things like jiu-jitsu. I think they'll place more value on the time with people on the mats, learning a skill that kind of helps them cope with situations like we're going through today, instead of spending all of their money on a new car or the next iPhone or whatever the case may be. So it might be some pain in the short term, but I think the long term, I think it has a real big upside potentially.
Yeah. And I tell you, jiu-jitsu has a potential to change the world for the better. I mean, when everybody learns, first of all, to defend themselves, man, and when you learn to defend yourself, your self-esteem goes up where you don't have to fight. You don't have to go picking on people. You don't have to do a lot of things that like people with low self-esteem who are bullies go and do. And if a bully does cross your path, man, jiu-jitsu will help you to defend yourself. And just because of that, I see the value there. But, it also helps being a better person, making you into a better person. I have been crushed so many times from the bottom that I am totally calm being under there. And that calm goes towards life too. I mean, it has a focus on life to be a more calm person, to be able to handle situations where you think you're going to die, honestly, and and I think that's why teaching jiu-jitsu is so important. And that's why I want to get back to it, man. It's like I'm sorry, I'm getting all excited right now, but jiu-jitsu is like a calling, something you go out and do, man. We're here to improve people's lives. It's not just an activity where we go tap people out, man. That's cool. I love tapping people out. I think it's fun. Really good way to figure out who's the winner and who's loser in a match. But there's a lot more to it. It's about making those friends, and people are seeing that nowadays, fellas, that they don't have their friends close by like they used to. And that's what I think personally, a lot of men and women were using jiu-jitsu for, is a way where they could go and be around big people, right? I don't mean I'm saying not hanging around their kids, right? They can go with people who are genuinely their friends. And I'm going to tell you, I never appreciated that until now. I was always talking self-defense and things like that, but I miss my friends. I miss all of the cool guys at the school that we could BS and work on moves and do those cool things. And now we can't. And I'm kind of glad I'm going through this in a way, because now I appreciate people a lot more. And I can't wait to be back there. But I'm back there. I want to change lives still. And I think my students realize that, and that's why they're helping me out, because they understand that it's not just, oh, I go and do this for a job. Well, I could have had some other jobs that made me a lot more money than teaching jiu-jitsu. I'm telling you, I have squandered away jobs that were going to make me $200,000 a year. And I would, I don't want that. I want to go do jiu-jitsu. That's what I want to do. And I want to go change people's lives with it. And I have been until now. So I think that's something we all can appreciate, is we're not just going and doing a job or hanging out or, and it shouldn't be just about working yourself, right? I'm working my jiu-jitsu. It's about helping other people to work theirs, so that we stair step and build on that. And people will bring you trouble in the sense of when they grapple. And it just makes you, and I don't want to ramble on, but it makes you feel a lot better about yourself, that you can handle troubles, especially in life when they come your way.
I think it's a really, really, really nice way of putting it. The upside that I was thinking about is, is the friends, is the family, and the jiu-jitsu is a language that no matter where you travel in the world, if you find a good jiu-jitsu school, Pedro Sauer's got lots of affiliates all around the world, and you can rock up there and it is like going home no matter where you are. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How long have you been teaching full time then, Keith? Just teaching jiu-jitsu? I say just teaching jiu-jitsu. It's an amazing job. It's a brilliant profession. But how long have you been doing that?
I have been teaching jiu-jitsu now for the last 14 years. Before that, I was a firearms instructor. Let me back up. I was a martial arts instructor. Then I got tired of that and became a firearms instructor for a couple of years in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I taught rich people how to shoot guns. Uzi machine. It was totally fun, man. I got to shoot guns all the time. That's all I did all day long, was shoot guns. And it was so tiring. I was so tired. My trigger finger hurt a lot. Can I tell this story? Can I tell the whole? I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think this story, I think you guys can appreciate, because this is how egotistical I used to be. All right. So I want you to know this. So I have been teaching martial arts, I don't know, 28 years now, something like that. And I have been teaching stand-up martial arts. And then I also taught jiu-jitsu as well. I have no problem with stand-up martial arts. I have 2 stand-up martial arts black belts. I completely think it's wonderful. I was teaching martial arts in a town called Twin Falls, Idaho. And that is where I grew up and lived for a long time. And I taught that for, I don't know, for about 10 years. And then I decided that I wanted to go, I was egotistical enough to think, I'm going to go quit and I'm going to go teach firearms for a living. That's what I wanted to do. And so I moved to Las Vegas, and I was hired by a place called Front Sight Firearms. And and what I did was I went through their program. They taught me how to do their program, and I did it. And this has a point to it. So, and I'm just right in my life, I was just looking for a challenge. You know, I just wanted challenge. And so I literally quit martial arts for I quit teaching for a couple years. And so I was doing this shooting. And the first day that I was on the job, okay, because I thought when you're a martial artist, everybody treats you with respect. When you're the head instructor, you know what I mean? Like your students treat you guys with respect, right? Oh, you're right. And so that you can say stuff and people won't necessarily challenge you on it. Okay. And I found this out, right? Because you could say the sky is green and, you know, people will go, oh yeah, Mr. Keith, no problem. Yeah, the sky is green, right? And you like literally believe all the bullshit that you say to yourself, right? You go, oh yeah, the sky is green. So, and this was the best learning experience. So I quit and we moved to Las Vegas. My wife was wonderful enough that we moved to a big city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is great. I'm on my first day of my job. And so then we go out shooting and we all come back to where we're meeting, and we're meeting outside this, we're meeting inside a tent, right? And it's just a huge tent, right? I don't want to, it's not a camping tent, it's a huge building like tent that was up, and it was for the instructors. And we were all sitting there, and the head guy comes in and he starts talking, and he looks around and goes, hey, who are you? And I said, hey, I'm Keith Owen. He goes, hey, you need to go sit outside. This meeting isn't for you. And this is out in the middle of the Las Vegas desert out there. All right. And he goes, hey, you need to head outside. This isn't for you. Get on out of here. Like, get on out of here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, man, I'll go. So I walk outside this tent. Okay. And I thought, holy shit, they're going to be talking about me or something like that, and so I sat on this table outside this tent in the middle of the Las Vegas desert, and there's nothing out there. And I'm thinking about my life going, wow, I just gave up this business to come out here to teach firearms. And I just got kicked out of the tent because I'm the FNG guy who needs to get, and so I'm sitting out there but I could hear them through the tent, and I'm listening, and they didn't even bring me up one time. They weren't even talking about me. I was not even involved. And it was like, holy shit, how far have I fallen when I was the head guy to, hey, you don't even belong here. Get the hell out of here. And so right then and there, I was like, if I ever become a martial arts instructor again, I will not believe my own bullshit. And so 2 years later, we decided to move back to Idaho. I became a martial arts instructor again. I missed it. I said, I want to go do that. Shooting school, love it. But I want to be a martial arts instructor again. And from that day on, I'm serious about this. I do not believe my own bullshit. I'm constantly questioning myself, because you think that you're important, but you're only important in this little school that you have, right? You're not the most important guy in the world who knows everything and is so smart. And that's what I learned when I went to that other place, when I went to the firearms range, is wow, I don't know shit about shooting, first of all. And these guys are some of the top shooters in the world. And I'm this little peon guy, and I'm not that important anymore. And it was a super valuable lesson. So now I spend my life trying to become closer to my students and to say, what do they need? Instead of, I'm their servant. They aren't my servant now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I serve them. I help my students to become better. They don't serve me. They don't sit and put me on a pedestal, anything like that. And I tell you, that growth pattern was huge for me. But I still see jiu-jitsu instructors today who walk around, they're just, I'll visit their schools and they walk around like they are so fucking special. And I go, dude, you need to go get another job for a while and just see how just special you really are, dude, because you aren't shit. You're only shit in this room, dude. So you fellas remember that, all right? You're being humble. And I hate to just curve real quick, but Master Sauer is that kind of guy. Super humble, dude. He is the greatest jiu-jitsu instructor in the world, but super humble, cares about people. And I just want to follow that example. That's the example that I always try to follow is Pedro Sauer, because he really is a kind, nice, decent man. So anytime I can talk about him, I try to, I'm always talking behind Professor's back. I just want you to know that. And every time I'm patting him on the shoulder for it. So, just so you know.
He is an amazing man. He makes everybody feel special, and that's Yeah, that's a unique quality.
Yes.
How did you get involved with Master Sauer?
Well, I have been doing this, like I said, for about 28 years. I can't remember. I have to add it up, but doing it a long time. And Master Sauer, he was one of the few people teaching jiu-jitsu in the United States, to be honest. I mean, there was the Gracie Academy in California, and then there was Henzo Gracie and Craig Kukuk in New York. And there might have been Carly Gracie in San Francisco, as I recall. And no offense to anybody else, I cannot remember who was there back in 90, 94, 93, something like that. But Master Sauer, I was going to go to the Gracie Academy and start learning. I already had a black belt in martial arts. And so I went to the Gracie, I was going to go to the Gracie Academy, but I found Master Sauer in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places, the coldest freaking place in the United States other than Alaska. And Master Sauer has to go there. Mr. Brazilian, Mr. Beach dude. It's totally weird. I mean, he picked Salt Lake City, and I thank God he did, because I had a chance to meet him. And I lived about, I don't know, 4 hours away from Salt Lake. So I would drive down there, stay for a week, train. I want to tell you this. One time I was in class, and this dude and I were grappling with each other, and he was a real cool guy. And we started talking, and I said, do you live around here? He goes, yeah, I live a block away. Man, I haven't been able to make class lately. Things have been hectic. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I was like, I wanted to go, what the F, dude? I just traveled 4 hours to come here and take a class with this man, and you can't even come from the effing block. I think if I could go back in time, I might have said that too. I don't know why I didn't say. I was just like, okay, yeah. I was flabbergasted, really, dude. If I lived a block away all the time, man, that would just be a perfect thing. But I made a lot of classes, and been with him a lot of years. I try to teach everything he taught me. I try to teach my students. So it's been quite a journey.
I think you're probably recognized as well as his, like you're saying, talking behind his back. You're probably his most vocal advocate, I'd say, that I see.
I hope so. I'm trying to be the king of his fan club, because there's a saying, you should never outshine the master, first of all. And that's something that I've lived with all of my life. Now, Professor Sauer is not that kind of guy. There are a lot of masters, though, that can be like, hey, they don't want their students to get out in front of them and be more popular than them and things like that. And Master Sauer is in no way that way. He doesn't care. Go out and be better than he doesn't care. But I always put him first whenever I try to talk to people or do something. He is the point of the sword, point of the blade, and he's the one that is always out in front as far as me personally. Even though I have my own association, that means absolutely nothing in the sense of my loyalty to the man, because he's just he's a cool guy. And people would call me a Kool-Aid drinker, I guess. But when you find a dude who's a genuinely good person with the greatest jiu-jitsu in the world, you tend to stick with him.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
He's like, we've talked about this before as well. It's like he's like the best kept secret that shouldn't be a secret to anybody.
Yeah. And I will agree with you, though. And he is a secret, but yet he's got so many affiliates, man. And I think people hear about him and then they just sign up under him, and that's a fantastic thing. That's a cool thing. And I even have a lot of affiliates are friends with me, and I try to help them. I'm trying to help the Pedro Sauer Association out, even though I have my own association. I try to help as many Pedro Sauer members out as well, too. I don't want them for my association or anything like that, but just trying to build on what Professor's trying to do. Because if we can all just teach Gracie Jiu Jitsu / Pedro Sauer Jiu Jitsu, I think the Jiu Jitsu would be a much better place as far as learning the techniques and so I don't think I think he's a secret. Yeah, it's kind of a weird dichotomy. He's a secret, but yet, God, he's got so many affiliates. Over 100. I don't know. I'm probably way off.
You think it's because he's so humble about it that he's not a self-promoter particularly? So that's why kind of he's not as much of a household name as maybe some other people.
Yeah, probably so. I think I truthfully, I hate being the guy who promotes him the most, just to be honest. I think everybody should be promoting him, right? It doesn't hurt anything to promote your master. You want your students to promote you one day, right? I mean, you want them to be, you want them to say something good about you. There's nothing where I really hate that when I see black belts who I don't even know who their instructor is. They never talk about him and they don't say anything about him. And I'm going, wow. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just knowing how I'm not going to live my life, in the sense that I'm not going to go, thank you for the teaching me all this stuff. Now I'm going to go out on my own and I'm never going to give you credit for anything. I think that's just a bad way to go. And I think more Pedro Sauer guys should promote Professor, because it doesn't hurt them at all. It doesn't hurt you at all to ride his coattails. It's all right. It gives you a lot of validity when you are a Pedro Sauer black belt and you're riding the professor's coattails. That's what it's meant to do. But you always have to take him along with you, right? You don't have to drown the man who teaches you to swim. And I think I see a lot of black belts, well, not drowning their instructor, but not even mentioning it. Don't even talk about it. I'm super proud of who my instructor is. And he doesn't have to promote himself. I'll do it for him. It's cool, because I'm riding his coattails and it works out great. And he's a great man and I don't mind doing it. And if I ever got anything out of it, I would be like, I'll still promote the dude. How's that? That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. But I guess once people have had a chance to train with him, and then you go, okay, I get it.
I get it.
Okay, yeah, he does magic.
Yeah. And it's not complicated. It's just little details of average things that just go, whoa, why wasn't I doing that? Before.
Every single time he answers a question, it's like,
wow, that was really pathetically easy. Why didn't I even, but I wouldn't have come up with that in about 50 years. So appreciate you doing that. I saw him in Kansas City the other day. I don't know, a month or two ago. That was the last seminar I've been to, actually. And again, blew my doors off with all these cool moves. I go, how come I didn't know this move? And so, I mean, he's got a lot left as far as awesome, simple moves and then I take those moves and I show people and they're like, oh, so impressed. And they think I'm so brilliant and everything like that. And it's because I know a guy.
Yeah, I think the first seminar that Robin and I did with him back in 2012, did we say? The other day?
I'll double check. 1 second. Hold that thought.
But yeah, the date's not important. Where and Alan Manganello was there, Alan Hopkins was there, and who else was there? Was anybody else there? I can't remember. But we knew it was
Waylon was there.
Yeah, the perfect person to be with, because he showed something and they both looked at each other and went, he's never showed me that before.
Right.
And because those two, we were like, okay, yeah, we're in.
Yeah. Right. He's never, I've said that probably 50 times. Wow, I've never seen that before. Did you know that? I would ask people, you know that? No, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
now we do.
Yeah, now we do. So here's a left field.
Before you move on, Pete.
Go on.
He's got the date.
Yeah, 2012.
2012. He's got it.
Well played. Well played.
That's the famous oops upside your head
photo of us. Yeah. There's fresh-faced white belts. Way less wrinkles.
That's grey hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
it's just a real curve. It just suddenly occurred to me. I'd remembered something. I dragged it up from the back of my head. Totally off field. How did you find? You went to Funnel Hackers Live a couple of years ago, didn't you? A few years ago.
Yeah.
Just before you wrote your book.
Yeah. My chiropractor is one of my good buddies, and I shouldn't be name dropping, and I don't want to do this, but you asked me. So he's friends with Russell Brunson at Funnel Hackers. And so I've known Russell for a good long time too, but these guys are really great friends. And I can see why, because my chiropractor is a friend of mine. I can see why Russell likes him too. And so, and Russell's just been cool to invite me to Funnel Hackers, just a really cool guy. And man, if you go to Funnel Hackers, it's mind exploding, dude. You get motivated beyond all belief. I totally believe in what he's doing. I have not used funnel hackers as much as I should, but that's not the direction that I've been going with stuff. But my chiropractor, my chiropractor friend is really big into funnel hackers. So I mean, I've got dudes I know. I've got guys I know to do funnels if I need. Russell Brunson's a great guy though. You should do funnel hackers. Just a cool guy. If you ever get a chance to go to Funnel Hackers Live, it's totally worth it. I saw Tony Robbins there. It was, wow, totally fun.
There's probably a lot of the guys won't know what it is, so that's why it's kind of a bit of a left field over here. But
yeah, can I explain real quick? Funnel hacking is a sales kind of an internet sales marketing program that you can do on how to get sales, how to generate more sales with online business. And it helps the person looking at what you're trying to sell, and it helps you as well, because it funnels them down a certain path that they can. I mean, you've all bought stuff online and you go, oh, I want this. Oh yeah, I'm going to take this. I want to buy this, and you just totally, I'm going to have this video and I want to have that video. I know you guys have. And what Funnel Hackers does is allow you to be excited like that, where you just go, man, I want to buy this. I want to buy that. So, and Russell's the one that, yes, there you go. Created that. He's got a new book out too. So, yeah. And I'm saying all this free of charge for Russell. He's not paying me at all to say any of that. So it's really cool. So if you're into marketing, if you're not into marketing, just totally disregard everything I just said, because it's
is that what kind of spurred you on? Were you doing your book already before that, or is that what kind of made you go, actually, I need to do the book?
Well, my book, if I could give a shameless plug, my book is called From the Ground Up. And what I did was I saw that there are a lot of different schools in the world, obviously, and they have a different way to get new students in. And I wanted to write a book for the new students who are at a new school to understand the complexities of what jiu-jitsu really is. Because I put it into different sections too. I put it in mental, physical, emotional, and then political. So I put a political aspect at the end of that, because as we know, politics play no role in anything in the world. But I thought, oh, it would be nice just to throw some ideas out there politically about, when the first time as a white belt you beat the blue belt, don't stand up screaming, yes, I kicked his ass. Don't try not to do that. People they're not friendly to that, right? I don't care what side of the pond you're on either. I mean, it's not good. Right. So just talking about the political things, and I just poured my heart into it, and I'm going to write some more books too, because again, not to kill this, but I'm just trying to change the jiu-jitsu world for better. And that's what my book was all about. And it's had pretty good sales. I mean, I think I'm going to promote it more. I got an email from Carlos Machado a while ago, and he had read my book. He just out of the blue said, hey, I read your book. And he said it was a really fantastic book and he really liked it. So I was like, well, I was like, on my email, when I sent back, I was like, well, thank you very much, Master. That's very kind of you. And inside me, I'm going, yes, Carlos Machado loved my book. Yes. Like, hell yes. And and the foreword is by Master Sauer as well too. So he wrote the foreword for my book, and it's for brand new people, but I'm guaranteeing you, whatever belt level you are, if you just read it, you'll go, oh, I understand. I see. Yes. And it's really not just for them, it's for your whole life in jiu-jitsu. Right. And now I'm going to do an intermediate one too. That was for beginner. Then I'm going to do an intermediate and an advanced, and then I'm going to do an instructor one day. But it ain't for the money. I assure you that. It ain't for the money, dude. If I wanted to make money, I would just go stay at my school. I'm literally, I don't need to be on podcasts and writing books and doing, free videos and stuff I don't need to do that. But I'm just trying to get out there to, promote jiu-jitsu more, promote Pedro Sauer and promote Team Rhino, and, get people into a jiu-jitsu school where they will stay and become a black belt. And I know I'm not trying to be virtuous and virtue signaling. I'm just going, that's my whole life. That's what I want to do. And money's cool. I like money, but it's not I could have had a lot more. I could make a lot more and work half as less, but I'm not going to do that. So thanks for bringing it up.
No, that's okay. No, when you were saying about the political bit, that was the bit that made me chuckle the most, because it was kind of looking back, reading it and looking back on that stage and going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, I get that. And you're saying, oh, there's no such thing as politics, but you're going to get embroiled in it whether you like it or not. So
yeah, you're this white belt, brand new guy, don't know shit, and you're in the school and you're like, who's gonna? Do I get my ass kicked? Are people helping me? Who do I talk to? Is it okay for me to kick this guy's ass? I think I can kick this blue belt's ass. He's really not that tough. Do I do that? You know, these are all these questions that yes, you kick his ass, by the way. You might as well. Just don't jump up and down. Go out, act like you freaking do it every day.
That reminds me of a story of someone we know, AP.
Yes.
What's that?
We don't do that here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's well, I've heard a story of a friend of mine, and if he sees this, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. When he went and visited the school and was training and rolling with the instructor, and was just about to attack the instructor out, and the instructor whispered to him and says, "We don't do that here." And he was like, "Do what?" Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At my school, people try to do that all the time, though. Trying to tap me out all the time.
Yeah, they're trying to kill us constantly.
Yeah. And I like it. I wish I could do it. I wish somebody would be there to kill me. It would be awesome. I can fight back. I'll be okay.
Go on, Billy. You were going.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. I think obviously the book for the white belts. I think for a lot of us that have been doing jiu-jitsu for a number of years, we can't imagine life without jiu-jitsu. So I think once you get the kind of couple of stripes into your blue belt, purple belts, I think you're as good as hooked. But for those people that maybe have started more recently and then stumbled across these really strange times, what tips can you give them to kind of stay motivated?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good and a hard one too, man. You're asking like some really deep thinking questions, and I've been pondering these, to be honest. And it's a tough time right now for a white belt. You just started and now you can't grapple anymore. And now people are telling you you can't touch anybody and you're supposed to stay 6 feet away. And I'm telling you this, man. First of all, if you've just started and what do? Just stick with it. All right. Watch videos, stick with it, because it'll be awesome. Watch Keith Owen videos, listen to his podcasts. All right. He will show you how to do jujitsu without getting hurt and having to muscle people. Right. And same with the Pedro Sauer guys. Right. It's all about the technique of jujitsu. But this is a good time to learn technique. I mean, watching these videos and understanding your technique, this is a good time to exercise too. If you're a brand new white belt, keep exercising, get in shape. I have been doing this, 30 years now in jiu-jitsu, and I have touched a lot of people and I'm still alive. I've probably been sick 3 or 4 times and it hasn't been that big of a deal. We will overcome this and we'll get back. And I mean, to get back into jiu-jitsu, we got to touch each other. I mean, that's what we got to do. And the more that you can get over that mentally, just go back and start grappling with people, man. Don't get this out of your head. Oh, we're not supposed to touch each other. We as humans were meant to touch other humans. I promise you. The immunity thing, our immunity is way better than you think. So, I mean, I think when you grapple too, it builds your immunity up where you don't get sick at all, and don't have problems as long as you keep yourself clean. So just in your with mentality, I think if you're a white belt, ready to come back, ready to touch each other, don't be like, oh, I'm hesitant to do that. Stop. It's not going to be like that. We're going to get back into this. We're going to be grappling again, and it's going to be fantastic. But you got to keep a positive attitude and just know this is a speed bump. It's not a freaking like crevasse in the road where you can't get over it. It's just a speed bump, and we'll be back.
I'm going straight back to sweating into people's eyes.
That's right. I'm hugging people, baby. And that's another thing in jiu-jitsu is, I don't know about you guys, but we always hugged all the time at the end of class, man. And I'm telling you, when you hug other people, it releases endorphins into your body that make you feel good about where you were at and what you were doing at the time. And people need that. I mean, that's why the touching part of it, and I'm saying this in a non-sexual way, absolutely, but humans need to have a touch, right? That's why we shake hands. That's why we hug all the time, is because it's good for our soul. And if we stay 6 feet apart for the rest of our lives, society is going to be a way worse place. It's going to be a way worse place with a lot more mental health issues, because it's not less hugs, it's more hugs that we need to give. And that's what jiu-jitsu provides. Sometimes in the most painful ways too.
Yeah. It's when you're hugging and they say, "Can you let go of me now?" And you're like, no,
dude. I just came back. I'm not letting go.
I can see the superheroes on the wall behind Keith. Who's your favorite?
Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite, and Captain America is my second one, but Spider-Man is my favorite because he's got so many problems in life that he's still going out helping people and saving people, right? And doing his best, while everybody looks at Peter Parker and says, "You are a pathetic loser." And so he has to deal with being viewed as a pathetic loser while he literally and goes and saves, all of New York all the time. So love it. I hate my least favorite. I hate to say this. I'm going to insult somebody. Now they're going to freak out. Although I like it, but it's not my favorite, is Superman. Superman is always perfect and never has any real problems in like a Spider-Man problem. And so, and then he's the toughest dude around. I mean, he never has to worry. And I know they've killed Superman in comics and everything like that, but let's just face it. Superman should have never died. He's just too good. That's why I like Spider-Man. And Spider-Man gets his ass kicked a lot. He does. I mean, he gets pounded on, but still is resilient to come back.
Keeps getting back up.
Keeps getting back up.
I was going to say, what superpower would you choose to have? But
I have
maybe
jiu-jitsu.
I was going to say it's going to be jiu-jitsu. Well, so what's your favorite move? What's your favorite jiu-jitsu move?
I think anything grabbing the collar is my favorite. I know that's so gi specific, because I love no gi too. Not a problem. I love to armbar people. I love ankle locks. I will ankle lock you. Even though I'm a Pedro Sauer guy, I am into ankle locks because I don't want people to put them on me. But anything with a collar grab to it, I love it, man. And people are just, it's easy to choke people, man, with the collar. So rear choke is good. Triangle is good. Omoplata I like a lot. Omoplata is a lot of fun. And my favorite position is being on the bottom all the time. I totally enjoy being on the bottom in jiu-jitsu and not on the top. And because I'm a big dude, if I get on top, you're not getting me off. All right. I'm not leaving once I'm on the top unless I want to. So I like to be on the bottom all the time and work from there. So a lot of bottom moves that finishes from the bottom and sweeps from the bottom, reversals, side control, love it. Side control bottom, love it. Great place to be. Not uncomfortable. Totally got that.
Maybe we can get a seminar on that next time you're traveling through the UK.
Want to. I would be more than happy to do it. I'd like to come out and see you guys next year if we're not in quarantine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we looked back yesterday. We were trying to work it out, and it was actually 2017. We didn't realize it was that long ago.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't know that too. It seems like just a couple of years. I think feels like 2 years, but longer than that, evidently.
Yeah. So there's another shameless plug as well. When you're saying about the collars, obviously there's 2 DVD volumes.
Yes.
On choking people out.
I have a couple. I have about 5 videos now. I think 5. I just did another one. Another shameless plug. Sorry. Just did one for BJJ Fanatics a few weeks ago. I went to Boston and did one on what I call the Barca Lounger. And the Barca Lounger, a Barca Lounger here in America is a chair where you relax. It's like a lazy boy, right? There's one of those big overstuffed chairs that you can and so it's from Side Control. And the best way to think about this is that it's a reverse crucifix. So I'm on top, I have his arm, and then I have his other arm stuck in between my knees. So he's really out out like he's crucifix, but I'm laying on top of him. And they're so like, it's great for a street fight too. You sit there, you got both of his arms, and you can sit and punch the dude in the face. I know Robin will appreciate that. And you punch that dude in the face, right? And and so I did a video on that, and it was God, it went off without a hitch, and I'm super excited about it. And I have a couple other ones that are on chokes. They're called Lights Out Volume 1 and 2, and standard gi collar chokes. Then how to take the second one was how to take your opponent's collars and use them against them. A whole series of, I think it's my finest moment too, is that video, because it shows how to take his lapels and use it to choke him with, and from various positions.
I've had the benefit of Haldor doing that to me, using your instructionals to hurt me. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. That's what I lived for, is to make you in pain.
But it's amazing. You start messing around with people's lapels, and they seem to forget all jiu-jitsu, and they start worrying what you're doing to them. It's almost like cheating.
Yes, and what I did in my video was attacking their lapels without them seeing. Right, without it being overt, right? Because we grab a lapel and you'll pull it like 3 times and try to wrap it around their neck, and you go, I'm no detective or nothing, but I think you're going to do something with that lapel. That's called a clue, right? And so now I did like sneaky transitions with it, and how to use that lapel and without them really noticing what's going on, and it takes them by surprise when they go, oh wow, there's a lapel around my neck. Yeah, dude.
Is that the video where you talk about the launch pads?
Oh, right. The launch pads. Yes, that's what it was for. All the different launch pads. Wow, someone's been watching my video. Yes, the different launch pads to start out, like in the guard, right? To attack that lapel, right? Not the collar, but the end of the lapel, and put it in your hand. And well, you saw it. And I think it was some of my finest work, to be honest. I spent a good 6 months researching that with my students, talking about, hey, what if we did this? What if we did that? And just exciting. It's fun to experiment.
It's good fun tying people up in their own lapels. It's great.
Now I'm choking. No, forget it. Forget it.
So we talk about it a lot, and I'm sure you've been asked this question before about amazing vanishing blue belts, and their ability
to vanish now.
Yeah, the cloak of invisibility that a new blue belt has. And what's your take on it, and like kind of what makes blue belts disappear?
Jiu-jitsu's hard, man. There's a lot of getting your ass kicked. Have you noticed that?
Yes,
like there is a lot of especially if you go to a school where it's everybody every man for himself, every person for themselves, right? There's a lot of those schools. I talk about that in my book, that you go to school and there's a lot of abuse that comes out. I mean, there could be some bully too who's a blue belt that wants to pick on you as a white belt. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just real difficult to maneuver your way through the school and stay there. I mean, you're a special guy. I want to tell you, a special guy or gal to get a blue belt. You're really special if you get a purple belt. I mean, that's showing the dedication. But just getting the blue belt is good. And people sometimes go, okay, I've achieved this belt. That's good enough for me, right? Because getting beat up on all the time, it really hurts your ego. And sometimes people don't want to keep putting their ego on the line. And that's why you got to get ego out of jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey man, I'm just going to go get my ass kicked. I mean, that's just the way it is. But the ego, I think the ego can play a huge role in it. And it's our job as school owners to be able to keep people on the path to get their purple belt, man. I didn't say black belt either, right? I said purple belt. Not everybody can get a black belt, dude. I hate to be like that. Like, no, everyone should be able to get a black belt. No, I think black belts is a very special thing that takes many years to get. And some people are not set up to be able to go, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years and focus on something. I wish they would, but they can't. But just getting a purple belt, man, I think is a fine thing to do, something that you can be very proud of if you want to. And if you're going to get a black belt, you might as well stay in jiu-jitsu, man, because that's where you start learning. You really start learning at black belt. But you have to take them along the road and help them out, right? And they have to feel like you like them and that you want to work with them. And you know, and they're trying to get better, and they have fears and doubts, and then they have their spouse or their significant other telling them to knock this off, and maybe they get injured, maybe they run out of money, maybe, you know, they have to move for their work, maybe a pandemic strikes and they can't go to class anymore, and they decide, oh, I don't want to touch anybody, so I'm not going to take jiu-jitsu, which is just giving into fear. I mean, it's just giving into fear, and we need to be blue belts just need to stick with it if they can, but they need the instructor to help them. And I think a lot of times they just don't, they have a feeling their ego hurts, and plus they don't think that they're getting the attention they need sometimes to be able to continue on. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we see the sort of fear in the eye the next day after turning up to class after getting their blue belt. Yeah. And they think, oh my God, now I'm a target. Someone's actually, instead of being really happy, they suddenly go, oh, someone's just strapped a massive target on my back and everyone's coming for me.
Yeah. Well, and this is what annoys me too. And I'm just going to say this publicly, is that it is a huge, long way from blue belt to purple belt. I mean, that's what, 4 years, 5 years, some for a lot of people, 5 freaking years. That what is like here in the United States, that's a master's degree, you know, 4 year, a bachelor's degree, 4 years in our college system. And I mean, that's hard to do on a continuous basis. I wish there were more. I honestly, in jiu-jitsu, I wish there were more belts so that people could, you know, take those in small chunks to be able to get where they need to go. A lot of people right now are screaming at me, no way, that's wrong. But I mean, if it keeps the blue belts to get to their purple belt, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, but it is what it is. There's blue and then there's purple, and you got 5 years. Well, I mean, that's why I always believe that if you can get that purple belt, you are really someone special, because that's a hard thing to get, man. It's an awesome thing. I think the hardest belt is your purple belt.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience in there required for that 5 years of, and you talk about it as well in your book about the ups and downs, and some days are going to be awesome and other days not so much. And then it's just going to be a grind at times. I mean, yeah, we just try and tell the guys, like, you just keep showing up. Doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter how it feels like, just show up. And, you know, we've all had it. Billy, you had a bit of a crisis of confidence quite close to your purple belt, didn't you?
All the time. You know, I never feel worthy of whatever rank or belt or whatever color I'm wearing. I'd much rather be a white belt all of the time. And I think that's the attitude that I bring to class, because every time I look at a technique like it's new and try and learn new little bits all of the time. It's the only way that I can keep getting better. I tell you what blows my mind though, Keith. I was listening to you on your podcast with Ari just the other day, and you mentioned that, you know, when you're a purple belt, and I think a lot of the time, you know, we meet you as a black belt, and you know, we see you guys, you know, as black belts, having done it for so many years. Can't imagine you as ever being anything else. But you guys are.
I was born a black belt.
But you know, that's the thing that I think people forget. You know, they listen to these podcasts with, you know, legends, you know, talking about, you know, the years that we'll never see again, where you're having to prove jiu-jitsu over and over again, and they wonder, you know, will they ever get to be black belt? And it seems like such a massive target. But you were there, you know, you've all gone through the same ranks, and you always say it, but it doesn't stick always. Just keep showing up, just keep turning up.
Yeah,
there's no secret to jiu-jitsu, is there?
No, you know, you've heard the saying, the mats don't lie. You can't lie. You can't fake it. You right. I have had my ass kicked by so many dudes. I cannot believe how beaten up I've gotten, in the best way possible, I must say, you know, not in a victimized way, but, you know, we're going mutual combat on each other. And I have just been beaten up, and, you know, people look at me and they go, oh, he doesn't look that tough. Dude, I have been through a lot of wars, and you know, it's what's inside. It ain't what's on the outside. Right. And I have spent so much time being a brown belt, like so much time being a purple belt, that it got to a point, like it took me 13 years to get my black belt. All right. And it's not because I'm too stupid. Well, no, it's not because I'm too stupid, but you know, it had something to do with that. You know, other people are getting it sooner, and that's cool, but it took me 13 years to get it. And this was in the days of, you know, there were videos to watch. You had to figure it out on your own. And how do you figure it out on your own? You got your ass kicked until you said, oh, I'm going to stop doing that, you know? And it felt like it would never end. And I just didn't care anymore. I didn't give a shit if I ever got my black belt. I mean, it was like, I'd gone so long that it became irrelevant. And then I got my black belt and I went, oh God, I'm a black belt now. And now I've got to be a black belt. And I'm going to tell you guys, when you get your black belt, that's when you'll start to learn jiu-jitsu. You are capable now in your mind of picking up moves and putting everything together. And now that I'm a professor, things are just like opening up to me. Like I can see how Professor Sauer does it now. And you know, I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but there's a lot of shit that no one taught that dude that he just looks and knows the answer to now, because he's done jiu-jitsu for so long that he doesn't have to be taught anything. He has the tools in his own mind to be able to come up with the answer. And then the answer, since he's never been shown to pass on he's never been shown what to do to pass it on. He's thinking in his mind what to do. He comes up with some shit that's amazing, mind exploding, that probably is revolutionary and cutting edge on how to do things. And I was always wondering how Professor did that until you become a professor of your own and you go, oh my God, people can ask me questions and I've never been taught this, but I know the answer to it, only because you've done it so much that you can start figuring out the problems that you have and how to fix them. Whereas like at a purple belt, and no offense to anyone in this world room we're sitting at, it's you're still getting put moves and you're still accumulating moves and trying to process moves. And someone asks you something and you might not have the answer to it. You might go, I don't really know the answer. But when you get to professor, it's just a revolutionary. It's a whole different kind of mental concept. And I don't know what mastership is like, but I'm hoping, you know, it's even better than it is now.
I think that comes back to the point that we were talking about with sort of Alex last week, wasn't it? And it was the point that Professor made in Iceland last year. It's about not doing jiu-jitsu, but thinking jiu-jitsu.
Yes, and thinking jiu-jitsu, the concepts of jiu-jitsu, because oh God, I'm going off on a tangent now, fellas. Sorry. Jiu-jitsu is about concepts. It shouldn't be about individual moves, right? It's not about I do this move and he does this and I do me. When you understand the concepts of jiu-jitsu, the concepts of the position and what to do, it gives you a lot more possibilities, especially from like the guard, man. If you did open guard, and, you know, I understand closed guard. Closed guard's cool because it keeps the person right there. But if you were to go into open guard and start working that, you know, as well as I do, there's all these different guards in the world, right? And you're going, oh, I specialize in spider guard or, you know, De La Hiva, or I mean, you know, whatever. You know, some guys are X guard or whatever. And we sit and we take X guard and we go and work on just the X guard portion. And we work on maybe a De La Hiva or, you know, whatever we're working on from the guard. But the concept needs to be there instead of just the individual positions, because we're trying to learn a language and you need to be able to flow in those positions and you understand where to go using your body language because you're practicing that. Then you can start working on moves from those positions. But the positions can't just be like static positions. You know, they have to be able to move in and out, and especially in the guard, because someone's trying to pass your guard, you know, and it's difficult that way. So, and Professor's really good with individual moves for sure. I mean, we already know that, but the concepts of jiu-jitsu and the philosophy of jiu-jitsu is what I've taken from Pedro Sauer jiu-jitsu. Is there's a philosophical thought process that if people would learn, they'd understand concepts and it will serve them a lot better as opposed to individual moves. Because when you're grappling, man, you don't have time to think. All right. You don't have a lot of time. And just go, what was that De La Hiva move that I was do, or whatever, you know, what is this closed guard move that you got to be able to do it. And concepts help.
How much emphasis do you put on kind of drilling stuff and getting it to be, you know, is that kind of your foundation for the lower grades, and as people move up, then you start to develop the concepts with them, or kind of how do you, I mean, obviously I've done your seminar, so I know how you teach, but how how do you do that on a day-to-day basis? What's kind of your thing?
Well, I don't remember how I taught when I was at the seminar, but I'm going to tell you how I teach. I try to teach in my classes just so you kind of understand. I think a good way to learn. One of the things that I try to do in my class is the very first thing, whatever move I'm doing, I show the move. All right. I try to show it. When I show it, I don't say anything. I just go and try to show the move. And let's just talk about a perfect world teaching. What would it be like, right? Perfect world of teaching is you should show the move. Don't say anything. Let people see it. Do it again. Do it 3 times. All right. Don't say a word, because the visual guys need to see what's going on and what the ending of this, what our outcome is for this. So once you show them, then you should start explaining the move. Okay. You explain it and you talk. That's for the people that are listeners, the auditory people, right? And you talk about it and you show the little details, or you don't show the details. You just show the move. Show the move. And then ask if anybody needs to feel it. And in a perfect world, you would literally go and do the move on every person in the class. Okay. And you go, well, why would I do that? Because some people have to feel it, but they don't want to say it. They don't want to go, could I feel that? Because then they feel like idiots, right? But it's a way that they absolutely learn to do jujitsu, right? Is they need to feel it. Oh, I need to work on, you've heard that guy. I need to practice that a couple times, right? That, that's the guy that has to feel what's going on. The kinesthetic guy, that's the word I'm looking for, the kinesthetic person, right? Yes, there you are. There he is.
There I am.
They're like redheads. There are very few of them and they don't have a soul, but they need to learn jiu-jitsu too, right? So no offense to redhead. Anyway, and so I would go and I would say, hey, come on out here and let me do this on you, right? And I have my students go raise their hand. Can I feel that? You bet. Then you send people out and you go and let them do it. Okay, you go and let them do the moves, and you do not help them. Okay, don't help them. They get to go work, because I'm guaranteeing you this. There's always that dude in class. The minute you go, any questions from anybody? No, and you go, clap. All right, let's go. He'll call you over and want you to specifically work him through the entire freaking move. All right, that's his motto. That's his MO, if you will. Hey, will you come and help me with this? I'm not getting it. You say that every single time. So I just go, no, I will not help you. If that way, you guys have to talk with your partner, right? Your partner has to talk, right? And you go and talk to them, right? And they work it out. And they might screw it up, but in their mind, they have the pattern of what they're looking for. Then you bring them back and you do it one more time. And I promise, when you send any questions, answer all the questions, send them out, they will be totally way better at this move. Okay, because they've been thinking about it, right? Even the dude who had to call you over won't be calling you over anymore, because why? He had to use his own brain. I know it was very painful for him, but he managed to think his way through the move, right? And when you show it again and you send them out, they'll be great. And then what you do, and I don't mean to bore you here, but what you do is you bring them back next, and then you pick 2 people to show you the move in front of everybody, right? And you have them show it. Right. And then pick somebody else. And when they know that they're going to get called up to show it, they get really serious about doing the damn move. And finally, to answer your question about drilling, I believe, is about polishing things, right? Polishing a move that you have. So what I'll do is I'll do 1-minute rounds where people have to go 1 minute doing the move as many times as they can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Screw it up. Just go through the moves continuously for 1 minute, doing as much as they can. And then the other person gets to do it for a minute. And you can do it 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can run them down the mat and tell them to go and get a partner and do, but you got to polish it at the end to drill it, right? And that is what I think is how a good teacher would be, right? How you're getting people to learn. But if you just focus on the visual, the auditory guys get excluded, right? Guys like Peter get excluded, right? Because he can't feel it, right? You didn't show it. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know what it's supposed to feel right. So you got to include those learning styles in your teaching ability. People go, oh, does that make you a good teacher? No, that makes you, a beginning teacher right there. Is just following that kind of pattern. And it took me a lot of years to figure it out, but I get my guys pretty good. And then you should revisit it more than once a year, right? You should, you don't have to spend a week doing every freaking move, but sometimes, like triangle, you should spend a week or 2 weeks or even a month on just doing triangles, right? Because things are hard to get down and they have to be able to get it down without thinking about it. Well, how do you get that into your mind, in your subconscious mind? You got to practice it, right? You got to keep going over it. And then people will be, and then people are like, whoa, I'm getting it when I'm rolling. Because that's the goal, is people getting it while they're rolling. And it's the greatest compliment in the world when people get the move on the very first class they learned it. You just know you've taught it right when they're picking it up.
Nice.
You mentioned the concepts, Keith. I can steal one last question. I mean, an example for people that are listening to this, maybe for the first time, quite new to jiu-jitsu. What's an example of a concept instead of a technique?
A concept. Oh God, I got a bunch of them, but I'll give you one of my favorite ones. The concept that I like to talk about, especially with beginners, is I call it well, to my friends, to the students that I'm close with, I call it shitty weightlifting. Okay. If now you guys are all buff and everything, and I'm sure that you guys lift weights. I do. If you look at my body, you would think I lift weights, but I really don't. Okay. But if you were going to take me and we were going to go work out, right, and you're going to teach me how to weightlift, and let's say I'm bench pressing, right, and I think I have a good 25-pound bench press. I think I'm pretty confident about that, right? But let's just say your max bench press, and I don't know, I'm looking at you guys, and 200 pounds, 250, right? You can bench press, okay? So I've got the bench press, and so I want to show this to the camera here. I've got the bar in front of me. I want to be on my chest, right? I want that bar to be on my chest. I'm going to push it up over my chest and bring it back to my chest again and right back up over and over again. Well, what happens if I took that bar and moved it down on my stomach and started bench pressing from my stomach? Or even better, I move it over the top of my forehead and start bench pressing it over the top of my forehead. And I'm no weightlifting coach or nothing, but I think you would probably say, hey, that's the wrong way to do that, right? That your strongest muscles are going to be across your chest, not on you're going to be able to lift significantly less pushing it over your forehead or pushing it over your stomach as opposed to your chest. Can we agree on that? I mean, right? So
100.
You would go, hey, stop that, put it back over. Well, then I move on to flies, right? And flies, maybe I'm at an incline, right? And flies are where you're out and you're back, right? Working on your chest muscles, right? And the flies are, if you'll notice, you're trying to do an arm bar on somebody and a guy's super strong and you're trying to take it straight back. You are in his best spot because that's where he does flies, right? What if we took the flies and turned it on an angle like this, right? We're at an angle moving it here, or an angle flying like this. You'd go, hey, that's bad. That's bad technique. So everything that's bad technique in weightlifting is good technique in jiu-jitsu, right? If a dude's he's got his arms and you're trying to get him in an arm bar, if you'll take and make his arm go at a weird angle, say up over his head or down to the side, way down here, as opposed to straight across, you will have a much easier time of breaking that dude's grip and being able to get him into an arm bar. Why? Because you use the concepts of understanding where people's weak muscle groups are. And if you're going to weightlift, you're going to do any of that, you should take, those Bulgarian power bags or whatever and use those and move them in weird angles, because that makes weird angles stronger in your jiu-jitsu. And that's what we're doing when we're in jiu-jitsu, is we're using muscle groups that you don't normally use in weightlifting. So we want to practice shitty weightlifting when we're attacking somebody, all right? And making sure that we're always maybe pulling their arm at a different angle so that it affects that, makes them weaker, and we're using our strong muscle groups against their weak muscle groups. That would be a concept of the things you use. If you just understand that, we don't need to do specific moves that you don't understand the underlying reasons behind. Then it'll help you a lot better.
No,
Sure.
Thank you. I think that's going to help people looking at some of the questions.
We've got a question coming from Howdor via Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Howdor. This is for you, Mr. Keith. He says,
I like that guy.
Is Mr. Keith tapping more to his students today than he was doing as a fresh black belt? I tell you, I am not tapping much anymore, to be honest. I grapple with people. I'm 50 years old and I grapple with people all the time. I've grappled with black belts. And I want to tell you, it's a different thought process you have at 50, because everybody in jiu-jitsu always wants to attack. And that works fantastic when somebody's your weight size. If you're in your weight class, yeah, you can be very athletic and go and attack them.
We always want to assume, though, in jiu-jitsu that everybody is 50 pounds heavier than us, okay? 50 pounds, 75 pounds heavier. And when you're going against a 75-pound heavier person, now just think if you were 120, 130, and maybe you're going against even like a 200-pound, 190, man, that's a lot of weight. And you got to cut that tree down slowly. So as we get older, we need to use jiu-jitsu in a way that is functionally easier for us, so we're not having to use athletic ability. And when you use athletic ability, it's just, I always say this. Here's another example, and this is what you have to do when you're older. I always say, here's your homework for today, kids. I want you to go home today, and all I want you to do is go kick in your front door. All right. I want you just to walk up from the side, and I want you to kick in that front door with your foot. You can, do a Steven Seagal on it, or you can turn and do a donkey kick if you want, but please just kick in your front door. Now you have to agree with me though, that you are in the house. Would you? You are in the house. All right. You've succeeded in getting into your house. But what happens is it's a lot harder the second and third time to keep people out of your house. You know what I'm saying? So if you just walked up though, and took a key and put it in the lock and turned it, if you could understand how to manipulate that lock and open it up, wow, you could do that forever, couldn't you? If you don't want to kick in your door, go break a window and climb in. I mean, you got to assume we're in the inn, but we don't want to have to win that way in jiu-jitsu, where we have to like violently force our way through there, because eventually we're going to hurt, in this case, the door, but what it's going to be is our body, right? So as you grow older, you have to learn to be able to use the key to put it in the lock. There's only one problem though. While you're there taking that key, putting it in the lock, Jason from Friday the 13th is walking up your front walk with a knife in his hand and wants to kill you. And now you have to get that key in the door and open the lock to get in. Or it might even be a code too. Some people have those codes, right? Boom. And you go, oh God, what was the code? Oh God, I got to, and so there's right. So you have to be good at handling these locks under great amounts of pressure. That's what being a black belt is. You're able to be technical handling the lock instead of being violent and just kicking in the front door, so to speak. So the question is, do I lose more? I am totally, when I'm grappling, I am looking to have perfect technique in everything I'm doing, putting my hands in the right spot, protecting myself. Everything's got to be perfect because I'm older and I can't use that athletic ability anymore to, overcome people. Right. And then, so I wait my time. And then when I see it, I attack like a freaking tiger, in this case, a rhino, and I get what I want and I go for the submission. And then when I do go for a submission, I'm all in. That's when I'll give you the full athletic ability right there, is whatever my submission attack is going to be tight. I'm going to make sure I have that arm or choke or whatever, and I'm going to get you then. But until then, protecting yourself. And Elio Gracie said that if you can't win, don't lose. I'm all about not losing right now at my advanced age of almost 51. So I grapple people all the time, and they're amazed that I don't have to try so hard. I'm not trying out, I'm not super tired all the time because I'm using movements that are easy to, efficient. That's the word I'm looking for.
Perfect.
One more question, Keith.
Okay.
We're trying to, my silly idea is to come up with a jiu-jitsu top trumps. And we, think about some of the people that we've met along the way. Is there anybody that you think about a role and you think, oh my God, I don't want to go there. I don't want to have that role because they're just scary. They've always got my number. Just trying to work out where you sit in the top trump order.
Well, there's a lot of people that could kick my ass. I'm not going to lie. It's really hard to do that now. I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's a lot harder to kick my ass now than it was when I was a freshman black belt. I have never honestly thought of this question because I don't really care if I get beat or if I don't, because tap's not the end of the world. You're not dead when you tap. It's just a way that didn't work. And that's how I frame it in my mind. So my ego doesn't have to play a huge role in it. I'm going to tell you though, I can't think of anybody that's, oh my God, James Foster is pretty damn good. If you know who James Foster is, 300, he's really technical and doesn't use his, he's even like 50 pounds heavier than I am, but he doesn't use his bulk. He uses really good technique. He's kind of a nightmare to grapple with. James Gardner, Pedro Sauer black belt, James Gardner, I feel has been the best guy that I've ever grappled with, if in the sense of, wow, who has your number? Because James is like 140 pounds, I think. And I haven't grappled him in the last few years. But I was at one of his seminars the last few years, and he did a move on me, and I went, wow, you killed that on me and didn't even try. And it was legit, and it actually worked. And I'm like, holy shit. I feel that he is one of Pedro Sauer's best black belts, because he is a fine example of you, a small guy, using all the perfect angles on you. And he has beat me at every belt level: white, blue, purple, brown, and black. Okay. And I always have a tough time with that dude. And he's like, I swear to God, I'm 70 pounds heavier than the dude. So, and he doesn't even know that. I never told him that, but just in my mind, you go, oh God, James Gardner. If we're going to talk jujitsu, he's got a very good expression of jujitsu. Ricky Lundell's really good too. He's kind of a nightmare as well. Again, smaller dude. I haven't grappled with Ricky in a few years either, but everybody gives me trouble though. God, it's tough, man. Jiu-jitsu's tough, but I don't have this in my mind going, oh my God, this is so bad. I just enjoy getting my ass. Yeah.
I think in a nice way, you've just spoken really nicely of 3 other of Pedro Sauer's black belts, which is fantastic.
And they're always Pedro Sauer guys too. I've grappled a lot of dudes, and I mean, I don't want to. There have been a lot of dudes who've been super tough on me, like, oh my God. But it's like, you got to tap me out. You can't just have your way with me and finding position, because I don't give a shit about position. I don't give a shit about points. You can be mounted on me all you want. It's okay. It's like, you got to submit me, man. That's my attitude. If I ain't tapping, I don't feel too bad about it, right? Especially as you get older. So people go, oh yeah, well, I kicked his ass because I had all these positions on him. Dude, you're 20 years younger than me. Go ahead, dude. I don't want to work. I'm just going to lay here. It's fine. You can have side control all you want. So in my mind, I'm sure they went away going, oh, I won him 36-0. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome, dude, because you didn't tap me. Right. And I'm going to tap you. I'm trying to tap you. So, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I never worry about that. You got to tap me. And then that's when I'll add that to oh, wow, that was really good.
I think it's I think we should talk to Master Sauer about a BJJ top trumps. I think it's good. It's a nice way for everybody to talk good about each other.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, I have no problem saying good things about anybody. There's been guys that I kick their ass. They're still got good jujitsu. It's like, I don't sit and judge people like that. I'm just, especially now, dude, I'm so thankful to grapple. So now it's like, geez, just give me anybody to grapple with. And I'll also too, just as a side note, I tap all the time, just to be honest. My lower belts, I let them have stuff, especially if they're doing something right. I just let them have it, and then sometimes I just get away, I have no problem with tapping, and some people will disagree with that. I don't care, and someone gets like, oh yeah, I tapped Mr. Keith out. Great, do it on a continuous basis. People laugh and go, I think he's letting you do it, and I think most of the time I am, because we're trying to work on these moves. And then some days I'll go in there and it's time to kick the shit out of everybody. You're going to get everybody's done, and I'll have that very athletic day too, though. I don't want you to think that I don't, like I'm always protecting myself. Some days I'm going, everybody's getting tapped today. I'm putting it on everybody, right? Just so everybody in the school knows what's up. But most of the time it's just, hey, I'm just having fun, man. It's like a kid in a candy store, just trying to play, man. Play, as Professor Sauer says. We just want to come and play. And when you do that, life's good. And now I can't play. So now I'm at home watching TV, which I hate watching TV. So, but one of the good things is I'm watching a shitload of videos lately. So things are going pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's just been cool to catch up anyway. It's been a long time, and we love when this is done that you can come back. That'd be awesome.
Well, I'll be talking to you about it in a while. I'm going to plan to come back. My wife and I want to come back, and we'll see you guys and see Europe. So we're excited if we ever get out of quarantine.
Yeah. We'll get out. We'll do it. I'm positive.
Hey, before I go though, I just want to say you guys are a bunch of awesome guys. I love you guys. You guys are near and dear to my heart. I really, when we visited the last time I came over, I felt we really made a good connection, and so I always check out what you guys do on Facebook, and it's you know, kind of, you know, from afar, kind of go, you guys got this. And so I'm super proud of how you guys are doing and how your school's coming along. I love how you guys all take pictures together. You know, that's funny. Robin always seems to be the one out in front too. So.
He's a black belt at Jujelfies. We call them Jujelfies. They're not selfies, they're Jujelfies.
That's easy for you to say. That's awesome.
Awesome. Right. Well, what I'll do is I will stop the live feed and everything, and then we'll say goodbye between us without the public watching.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. All right.
Bye, public.
And then we go to YouTube and do the same thing. Oh, no, I've got to do it from here. This is where everyone sees my technical inability.
Well, don't feel so bad.
No.